السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. صباح الخير، مساء الخير. Good morning, good afternoon. اليوم عندي فيديو جديد. Today I have a new video. And this video وهذا الفيديو وهذا الفيديو يتكلم عن مشتقات الفعل الثلاثي. So we are going to see the derivative from the three-letter root verbs in Arabic today. How to form the doer in particular, and also the place of the action taking place or the time in some cases. With that being said, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. So that would help me greatly in order to keep posting more videos. مرحب بكم مرة أخرى. Welcome you all, means welcome back. مشتقات الفعل الثلاثي. So today we will be talking only about the three-letter root verb, three-letter verb, like see kana as 1, 2, 3, kataba. All these verbs or words, only all of them have three letters. So we are going to derive or to take اسم الفاعل, the doer out of the three-letter roots today, and also the place of the اسم المكان or the place of the action is taking place, or sometimes the time of the action or this action is taking place, since we are talking about verbs. So I am going to give you an analogy here, and I hope that my analogy makes sense. So we have فعل, but because فعل here is we have three letters, so that's why we have فعل. 1, 2, 3. So consider this as like 1 pound, 1 pound, and you are going to weigh everything else against this 1 pound. Say for the first one, say you have sugar, you have corn, you have cotton, you have milk, you have, anything that could be weighed. So you have the pound, and then you weigh all these things against the pound. So the pound of sugar is equal or the same as the pound of everything else. So that's why you see fa'ala. So, but when you move down here, you see fa'ala being a pound, we added 1 letter here after the first one. After the fa, we added the alif. So the verb also, the verbs need to take the same addition. See, kana, we put alif here. Kataba, we put alif here after the ka. Darasa, we put alif after the dal. Ta, we put the alif after the ta. And then in order to form the place of the action, or this action is taking place, you got to add the meme, and then the meme is added here. So you have the pound and a pound and a half and 2 pounds. So whenever you add it, you have the complete set here. Whatever you add it here to the file, whatever change happens here has to happen to the verbs as well. I hope this analogy, makes sense to you. So together, let's figure out how to form the actor or the doer or the subject in the verb, or the subject of the verb. So we say kana. Kana is the verb to be. Kain, we add the alif after this first one. Kain. Kain is the resident or the creature or the being, pretty much. The being could be human being, could be anything, but the being or thing being existed, that's kain. And then the place of being is makan, place or location. And today, in order to form the place or the time of the action is taking place, we are talking about the generic names or the generic places. And I am going to give you another example. Say in English, you have the verb to write, W-R-I-T-E, to write. In order to form the doer, you add ER at the end, would be writer, writer, writer. So we add the ER. In Arabic, we add the alif to the 3-letter root verb. But the writer in English could be a book writer, which is the author, could be a blog writer, the bloggist, or could be a columnist, those who write column, or could be like a writer in a newspaper. So we have like so many writers and we call them differently. We call author, the blogger, columnist, whatever the writer might be. So in Arabic, it's the same thing. So we will have the actor, and we will have the place, and the place could be very generic. All right, so let's figure out this. Kana, kain is creature, makan is the place or the place of being. Kataba is to write, katib is a writer. As I said here in English, we add the E or ER. Katib in Arabic, that's the writer. Maktab, maktab is the place of writing. And that happened to be either the office or the desk that people normally use to write. You could be right at home, you could be writing while you're standing, but this is how it is. Okay, darasa is to study. Daris is the studier, but in this case, could be a student, could be a learner, could be whoever that person might be, but Daris is the studier. But we say student, and then the place of studying is madrasa. And in the green here is, I added the ta marbuta, which is here, just to resemble that this is a feminine noun, madrasa, the place of studying, or the place of study. That's madrasa, is a school in Arabic, happen to be. Tabaha, tabaha is to cook. Tabikh is the cook according to the rule. But in Arabic, we call tabakh. So tabakh is derived from another non-three-letter verb. So, but for now, we see tabikh is, according to the rule, is the cook or the chef. Tabakh, that's what Arabic people name it or call it. And then matbakh is the place of cooking, which in Arabic happen to be the kitchen. Matbakh. You add the meme to the verb, and you will end up with the place of the action taking place, or sometimes the time. Okay, jalasa is to sit down. Jalis is the sitter, or the person who is sitting down, or the person who sits down. And then majlis is the place of sitting. The place of sitting could be a chair or a bed, could be just on the ground, could be anywhere where you sit. That's majlis, the place of sitting. And I said, it's a generic name, could be any, All right, so here, هنا, عندنا, we have, عندنا هنا, دخل, دخل is to enter, داخل is the enterer. If this is a verb, I'm not quite sure, but the person who enters, or the person who is entering, that's called داخل. And then مدخل, you add the meme, is the entrance. مدخل is the entrance. Say مدخل البيت, the entrance of the house. مدخل المدرسة, school entrance. مدخل. خرج is to exit. خارج is the exited, or the person who exits, or the person who is exiting. And then مخرج, by adding the meme, will be the exit. All these nouns, exits, or the exit. So the entrance and the exit could be one thing, could be the door. If you are inside the house and you're trying to get out, that would be makhraj, exit, for you to exit the house. Or if you outside the house and you try to get in, so the door will be madkhal, your entrance into the house. All right, so arada is to display or to show. Arid is the displayer, the person who displays. And then ma'arad is the showroom or the display room, where you can show your cars or you display your jewelries, or whatever you have to display. That would be ma'arad. All right, so gharaba is to go west. Gharib is west goer, and here I refer to the sun. So the sun goes to the west. Gharib. And then maghrib. Maghrib has two meanings. Number one is the prayer time for Muslims. When sun sets, Muslims pray in that time. They call it Salatul Maghrib. So the prayer of Maghrib, because the sun has gone to the west. Or Maghrib could be location, places that fall in the west. we call Maghrib. Say Al-Maghrib Al-Arabi, or the Al-Maghrib Al-Arabi called like Libya, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco. These countries called Bilad Al-Maghrib or Al-Maghrib Al-Arabi because their locations in the west. All right. So West Africa or West, they call it west of the Arab world, to be specific. Okay, that's what Gharaba. And then we have Sharaqa. Sharaqa is to go east. And then Mashriq is also some countries that call it Mashriq al-Arabi or al-Mashriq, Bilad al-Mashriq. It depends on the location of these countries. So Nazala is to descend or to go down. So Nazil is a descender or the person who's going down or the person who goes down. And then Manzil, the place of descendant or the place of settle. You go down to settle. That's Manzil happen to be house, like your house. Manziluka, my house. Manzili happen to be Manzil from Nazala, to settle or to descend, to relax. Wada is to put. Wada is the putter or the person who puts the stuff. And then Mawda is the place of putting. So if you have a chair and you put that chair here, where you put the chair will be Mawda, the place. As you can see here, the generic name, most of the Arabic nouns begin with a meme, because that's how you form by adding meme to the three-letter root. We'll go from three-letter root to 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. But that is, not right now. So the focus right now is only the three-letter root verbs. All right. So moving to the next. All right. So Jara is to run. Jari is the person who run or who is running. Jari, the runner. Majra happens to be the stream, but the generic name for Majra is wherever those people are running. But here we call Majra is stream, where water runs, called the stream of water. Majra and Nahar, the stream of the river. See, Majra. And so specific, even though it's generic, but in Arabic we say that's only for river, very specifically. So La'iba is to play. La'ib is the player. I could not highlight the alif in red because I couldn't do it. So this one, the alif here is supposed to be in red. But La'ib is the player. And then you add mim. Mal'ab is the playground. Mal'ab. And also, if you notice here, all the place or the place of the action being performed or the actions being performed, see, majra, the second letter has the sukun. See, majra, mal'ab, so on and so forth. So, and as you can notice here, for the doer, the third letter has the kasra most of the time. Jari, la'ib, so on and so forth. So sajada is to prostrate, those who pray, specifically Muslims. So they prostrate to God. And then sajid is the prostrator or the person who prostrates. And that's, you see, sajid it's a generic name also in a lot of Muslim countries, sajid. Masjid is the place of prostration, and that is going to be the mosque, masjid from sajada. Okay, so sana'a is to manufacture, Sani' is the manufacturer, and then masna is the factory, masna, where goods are being made, masna, factory. Zara'a is to farm. Zari' is a farmer, but we happen to use mazari' because mazari' is derived from the four-letter root verbs, not the three, so that we use it mazari' most of the time. But according to this rule, zari' is the correct one, but use mazari' because we derive it from the four-letter root verbs. Mazari', zari', and then mazra'a, but because mazra'a is feminine, we added the ta marbuta. But the meme is here for the place or the place of action. Farm, mazra'a. Qabara is to bury, like to bury someone or to bury something. Qabir is the person who buries the stuff. And then maqbara is a cemetery. In particular here, like where people are being buried. Okay, maqbara, but maqbara because it's feminine, that's a maqbara, added the time marbuta. Okay, so sa'ada is to ascend or to go up, Sa'id is the ascender or the person who goes up, or anything that is goes up. Could be prices, but I use people just to indicate, but could be prices or something is going up. Inflation is going up. Okay, Sa'id. So Sa'id is the doer. Mis'ad in Arabic is the elevator. And I don't know, for some reason, even in English, they call it elevator, but the mis'ad, the elevator, takes you up and brings you down too. But only in English, the elevator elevates you. And in Arabic also, it takes you up, mis'ad. That is elevator. Okay, so daraba is to hit. Darib is the hitter. Madrab is the tool that you use for hitting. And the tool here is also the noun. So it could be the stick, could be the baseball rod, or could be anything that you use for hitting or to hit something. Madrab. Labisa is to wear. Labis, also I missed the, I didn't miss, but I couldn't put the red alif here. That's why the alif is not highlighted in red like here. Labis is the wearer or the person who is wearing or who wears. And then malbas is clothes, like clothes. Malbas, called the wearable. Then it's very generic. Malbas, clothes could be, pants, could be shirts, could be t-shirts, could be full suits, could be any. That's why I said it's very generic. So sakana is to live. Sakin is the resident or the dweller, or the person who lives. And then maskan happens to be the house that people live in. Maskan, house. But in the generic form is wherever people dwell is considered maskan. But in this one, we're referring to the house because we specify it here. Wa'ada is to promise. Wa'id is the person who promise. And then maw'id, by adding the meme, will be the appointment. You see? So you promise to meet someone at a specific place, and the appointment, that's the time. That's why here I say the place or the time of the action taking place. Here is the appointment, the time. Could be at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, or 12 o'clock. All right? More, it could be at a specific place in this case. This one could go either way. It could be go to the time or the appointment or the place of the appointment. Be maw'id, both. So walada is to be born. Walid is father. And then mawlid is birth. And then when we say mawlid, we refer to the mawlid, the birth of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why I put PMS, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sarafa is to exchange, like money. Sarif is the exchanger. Masrif in Arabic is bank, where the exchange takes place. Khabaza is to bake. Khabiz is the baker, the person who makes the bread. And then, but in Arabic we say khabaz because also we derive the noun from non-three-letter root verbs. We will talk about that. And then by adding mean to the verb, we will end up having the place of baking, which is the bakery. Makhbaz. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's lesson, and I hope this makes sense and helps you in order to discover how Arabic functions. And if you capitalize on these like little mechanics, like today's lesson, how to form the doer or the actor or the subject, or how to find or to form the place of these actions taking place or the time, I think that would help you learn Arabic much better than not knowing how Arabic functions. شكرا جزيلا يا شباب. أراكم في الفيديو القادم إن شاء الله.